on in 3, 2, 1.
This is Packard Folkset, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Folkset. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic, and joining us tonight from our from the right side of the Skype machine that I've said so diligently been picking up, and with the green blobs I've got floating around me, is Joe Unseen.
Here's the story from A to Z. If you want to get with me, you got to listen carefully.
And joining us out from the Canadian land, out in the Great White North, is Vonnie Evolution Child.
How's it going, eh?
Hey. Hey.
She
That's
said
what
A.
Canadians are supposed to say, right?
That's what I hear. I don't know how
We
true
do
it is.
say it pretty quite a bit, actually.
Marcelo says the igloos in where the bears run wild. Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Especially when you find a bear in an igloo.
Those wild beavers you gotta watch.
Yes. And join us also tonight is over from also in the East Coast. There is Wayne Random XS.
Hello, everybody. What? That's it. Hello. Sorry.
He'd like to keep it short. We have a lot of good news for you tonight. We've had a very busy week. There's always something going on, either in our personal or the news. It just drives everybody kind of crazy. But there's stuff I want to talk about, but we're not going to cover those tonight. Maybe later in the show or after the show. But first off, let's get going to our first topic. Now, the cancer is not something that nobody wants to get. They've actually found what's called the mother cells of cancer growth. They're finding hopefully with this finding, they're hoping to find a real cure. Now, the thing about these cancer cells, would be the cancer stem cells. They've been very hard to kill. Now, instead of taking they kind of compare this to a dandelion. Instead of going after taking off the head of the dandelion, off the root, and the thing is going to grow back because it's like a weed. It's going to grow back. This way, since they've got this discovered now, it could make a whole new change and revolution of how they treat cancer. Joe, your thoughts?
The hope for a cure for cancer is so close. Science keeps making promising discoveries, and I really think this is within our reach. With all the new promising techniques that keep emerging, I think it's only a matter of time. And to those who think that the cure has been found but has been kept secret by Big Pharmacy, yeah, whatever. If Big Pharmacy had found it, yeah, they'd be selling it by now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The fact is, these I don't say right-wing nuts. It's just nuts in this case. The crazies out there think that you're right. They think the government's been hiding this secret, from everybody for so long now. But no, they just didn't know. Now we've got to start to get a good handle on these. Vonnie, your thoughts?
That just cracks me up because the right-wing nutters are the same ones who block at every opportunity any kind of research to do with stem cell. If anybody's been preventing progress, I would say it's them. Yeah, they are. They think prayer works. That's why, Well, no, they've actually been really legitimately standing in the way of stem cell research. Because stem cells have souls.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And I'm not kidding. This isn't just you can't make this stuff up.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. No, I've heard of that.
But we can't.
Yeah, this would actually be the not the stem cell like stem cells like you would think of.
No. I know, but I'm saying that to date.
Oh right.
When it comes to, like, for example,
gotcha.
the stem cell, in anything to do with stem cells, they block it at every opportunity, and then they wonder why science can't progress.
Sometimes I don't think they actually wonder if science can't progress. I think they know why it's not progressing because they're the ones stomping on all
Right.
innovation.
And then they come out and say, "Oh, they're hiding stuff." Like, really?
They're trying to have it both ways. That's all there is to it. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is just really fascinating stuff. I looked into this a little bit. I couldn't, and I gave up because it was just I was digging too deep. I'm trying to get to the original papers, but I was wondering if these were from the HeLa cancer stem cell line, which is like the most famous line of human cells in the world. Goes back to the 50s. From some cancer patient, they took some her doctor took some from her cancer cells, and he was able to grow them. And basically using these these mother cells. I mean, they didn't really know what was going on, but they knew these cells were not dying. They would keep replenishing. And he farmed out, and now cancer researchers all over the world use cells that originally came from this woman, Henrietta Lacks. Yeah, and yes, so really. But it's but they're starting to get a handle on it now because now they're finding out that the tumorous cells, it's not that all the cells can live forever, but in this one they're saying that there's a small percentage of them that have this ability to like always reproduce new cells, and the other ones just have the typical Halec limit, so they will reproduce 20 times, 40 times, 60 times, and then die. But some of them are always around that can keep reproducing more and more and more, and so that, and once we can control those, if you could find a way to stop them, that eventually the cancer would just die off because it can't reproduce.
Right, exactly. And this is, like I said, it's a great start. I mean, in maybe 10 years, maybe we'll actually have a real good handle on all this cancer stuff that's going on. And I wonder how the fundies are actually going to take it, because
the one thing I read about one of the articles was if they do figure out a way to turn off these telomerases that allow it to keep going, that the other cells that don't have this property might turn on, because that happens in nature sometimes, where there's some small number that have some property, and if they get crushed, that some other ones somehow magically pick up what the slack. So but they don't know. Yeah. So, but again, yeah, it's exciting research.
Yes, it is. It is very exciting research, and I'm just glad that we actually have people out there actually working on this stuff. Next story here is that a man out in Tennessee thought his girlfriend was having an affair with Mitt Romney. Of all people.
It's very likely.
Yeah. Well, he is a Mormon, you know. Zing! Mormon joke. But it's partially funny, but it's partially not, because the guy not only attacked his girlfriend, he smashed the laptop, because he's like, saw him on a Facebook page with, "Oh, must be the lover," and there's this picture of this guy. He's like over 300 pounds. He's got this huge ass head, and he looks like, if you've ever seen Jabba the Hutt, he kind of looks like that, only uglier. I'm sorry. Honestly, it's terrible. The fact is that this happened out in Tennessee, of all places. Well, you know, what can I say about Tennessee? I just can't believe that these people out there are just, they don't even know who's running for president. They're just like, I just don't want the black guy, you know. I just hope these people really don't vote. I really don't. Vonnie, or Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, Romney, you know, he is such a hunk. If I saw a pic of him on my girlfriend's Facebook page, we'd have to come to words. You know, I mean, there's like a line that you draw, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, what? Really, what? This dude must live in a cave, partially due to his lack of knowledge about current events, and largely due to his treatment of women.
Yes.
I mean, he sees a picture of a dude on her laptop, and he smashes her laptop. What? Me smash, image of lover rival. Arr.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe he thought he was the Incredible Hulk. Me smash. You know, what can I say? These people, there's
Dude is a complete moron.
Oh, absolutely. He's absolutely a complete moron. They're just, I can't think of any better words for that. Vonnie, your thoughts?
I know this is going to sound awful, but I'm no one special, so it's not like anyone's going to care. But I almost hope he's having an affair, because that is the one thing that would take him out of the running. He can be an idiot, he can be a crook, but boy, oh boy.
Oh, you mean Romney? Oh, you mean you're hoping Romney's having an affair?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me if he was, but I mean, well, I think if anybody was going to have an affair with him, it'd be for the money, nothing else. I mean, it's just.
Well, I wish they'd get on it.
You know that reminds me. I saw this. I was watching Young Turks, and this it's completely legitimate. You got all these birthers out there, for example, and they're screaming. You know, we want Obama's long form. We want his birth certificate. They show it. You know, they show the form. We want his long form. We show it. Now they're but the funnies when they come to his tax records, he's only put out 1 year. And it's like, but we're on this, chirp, chirp, nothing. They don't say nothing. And they won't say anything because they know that if they do, they start asking questions, they may not get like the answers they get. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was an interesting story. I went back and read the police report, and what it sounds like happened is he's a very controlling guy who doesn't let his wife or a girlfriend, I guess she was.
Yeah, girlfriend.
Really, any kind of private communication with any of her friends. Mm-hmm. And he got really mad when he saw the picture of Romney, didn't recognize him, freaked out. And then what it looks like happened is she then got on Facebook and started talking to her friends about it. And he got upset about that, and that's when he broke the computer. That she's telling her friends about me,
Packard.
kind of thing, and trying to make me look like an idiot because he is an idiot. And
no kidding. Like, what do you think her chances were? I mean, that's like me having a picture of Brad Pitt on my monitor. It's like, oh, yeah, for sure, we have a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our next topic.
Politics.
Governor out in Pennsylvania, the governor out in Pennsylvania, apparently doesn't know what he signed when he voted in the ID bills out there. Admittedly, they go through a lot of bills, and they just trying to remember everything that they do is a whole issue with them. But
Oh my goodness.
of course, these Republicans, I swear they pass bills for stuff, and I don't think they even know what they're signing half the time. He doesn't even know what forms of ID. It says he goes, I've been working with the nursing homes to get people new IDs. It can be a military ID. There's 2 or 3 other forms right off the top of my head. I don't have it here in front of me. I mean, it's really, if you're going to be pushing these laws, have some clue of what the heck it is. I mean, really. Joe, your thoughts?
Okay, the Pennsylvania governor doesn't know what's acceptable for voter ID, for voter ID to what kind of ID you need to vote. And I actually saw this on the TV news, and he kind of stumbled. He was like, "Oh well, you can use your military ID, you can use this, you can use that," but he wasn't sure. And so it's kind of ridiculous because voting is a right granted to us by our Constitution. And to deny a right to vote, regardless of how they vote, is a violation of human rights.
Yes.
And so the state of Pennsylvania should have a voter education drive helping people know what they need to do to be legal to vote. They need to inform people, all right, this is what you need, this is how you do it, and please, everyone come regardless of how you're going to vote.
Yes, exactly. In all fairness, not that I'm going to be fair to Republicans anyway, but no. They do have a lot of bills that come across their desk, but I think this one is pretty important enough to know you would have to try to remember what exactly you're going after right there. Vonnie, your thoughts?
I'm not really just clear on why it's his and I'm not for or against parties anyway. I'm just, but I'm not sure why it's his responsibility to educate every person in America about their voting responsibilities. Is it not our responsibility to figure out what our rights are?
It says here, it's a testament to how concerned the Pennsylvania state government is about legitimate voters being denied their right to vote, that the government isn't even pretending that they are going to educate the populace about the new voter ID requirements. Apparently, all right, normally when you would vote, they would say, hey, you know, you need to bring this and this to the polling areas. Or,
yeah, of course. Exactly.
So, you know, this way everybody has, it makes the board even for everybody.
Sure.
But he's not even, I don't think he's not even doing that. But I think the problem is here that he doesn't even know what they are, even to start off with.
Okay.
And he signed this bill into law?
And he signed it into law.
And he has no idea what the bill requires.
Right.
So that right
we
there is
don't
a
even
big
know
fail.
what the bill is.
Right.
That's
we
why
don't
I'm
even know.
Confused. It's hard for me to talk in this because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of in the gray here. Move along, Dwayne.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is going on in a lot of states, so Pennsylvania is not unique. There's these new voter ID laws that require very specific types of IDs be brought to prove your identity. And this is something that's never happened before, like they're doing it. And the IDs that they're picking out just happen to be, and this is the argument is that these IDs have been carefully chosen to eliminate vast majorities, or not majorities, but vast swaths of people who would tend to vote against Republicans. Yes, people who vote Republican will be affected too, but the numbers are like 3 to 1 people who vote against Republican being affected under these laws. And some of the examples are student ID, in Pennsylvania at least. In student IDs, you have to have your expiration date on your ID in order to be able to use it. Well, if the school doesn't put the expiration dates on there and the major universities there don't do that, then those IDs are not valid. So why, you know, it seems like a weird requirement to have on there that the expiration date needs to be on there. But now they're letting them, they say they're going to let them, the schools put a little sticker on your ID that has an expiration date. So well, you don't have to get a new ID, you just have to go in and say, give me a sticker, and they put the sticker on there with the expiration date, and then you can use that ID. But then again, this causes a problem because not 100% of the people are going to do this. Even if 95% of the students go in and get these stickers, that's 5% of the students who are not going to do it, and that's going to translate into hundreds, if not 1,000 votes or 2,000 votes. That's going to translate into votes.
Right.
And then people who the reports are in people who live in Philadelphia could be as many as 30% or so of the population of Philadelphia does not have a driver's license.
Yeah, it says there 43
cities don't have them, and those people tend to vote Democratic, and those are the people who are who last time delivered Pennsylvania to Obama. Those people can't vote; they have to go get a new driver's license.
Yeah, it says here that the report shows that 43% of the Philadelphia voters lack a valid form of identification.
Yeah, and then the other problem with these IDs is, I mean, these are things that are really carefully chosen to affect the poor people. Things like your ID, the address on your ID must match your current address. Well, people move, their IDs are different, and poor people tend to move more than people who own homes.
Right.
So it's hard to keep a current ID that has your current address on it. So that these things are really problematic. Rather than making it easier, they're making it more difficult by picking out specific IDs that these populations don't have. And it doesn't need to affect everybody. It just needs to affect a a few 100,000 people, and then you can make it sort of easy to get it fixed. But even if 80% of the people get it fixed, that's 20% of those couple 100,000 that you cut out, and that's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who can't vote because of these laws. And in Pennsylvania in particular, there have been 0 cases of voter ID fraud, of like in-person fraud that would be stopped by this sort of law. There are 0 cases. And
right.
They anticipate 0 cases.
Right.
So a literal 0 problem. As many as several 100,000, but certainly thousands and thousands and thousands of people will not be able to vote.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
Okay, yeah.
Get a little long-winded there. Vonnie's got to leave here soon, so we want to remember to keep these short. But you're right. They are basically using this as a way of voter suppression because they don't want to. They don't know what's in the law, and they don't want anybody else to know what's in the law. Basically, speaking of suppressing the vote, a Florida Republican, he wanted to suppress the black votes, and he even came out and said in a debate over the new laws meant to curb voter fraud, which there isn't any of. In places like Florida, Democrats were always apparently charging that the Republicans tried to suppress the vote. Well, in this one here, in a deposition released by the press yesterday, a man by the name of Greer mentioned in December 2009 meeting with the party officials, saying, "I was upset because the political consultant and staff were talking about voter suppression and keeping blacks from voting." If you've been down south in the Florida area, there is a lot of minorities and black people and Cubans, I guess, I'm not sure, down in that area, and if they're using this to suppress voters, I mean, this is the smoking gun that we were spoken of right here. This is it. I can't say what else. What more do we need to show that the Republicans using this as a way to try to block people from voting? Joe, your thoughts?
We're talking about Florida now, right?
Yes. Now we're talking about Florida.
Okay. All right. Like I said before, I mean, this guy, he says that he participated in meetings in, closed-door meetings where they discussed suppressing the black vote.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually came up with strategies to do so in Florida. And now he's facing felony charges of corruption, and he's supposedly spilling the beans. So what my opinion is, okay, this guy is under the gun. He's facing legal action. We need to get somebody to corroborate his story.
All right.
Because if what he is saying is true, then yeah, totally. Then that's a smoking gun, and we got somebody in the Republican Party saying that they're trying to suppress votes. If what he's saying is just to try and get himself out of trouble, then, then what he's saying is BS.
Yes. Well, that's a possibility. I mean, there's always that chance that, what he's saying is not true, but it's more likely than not that I would rather bet that this is a story that's right on the nose.
Right. Well, I mean, the actions speak for their words. I mean, what do we see happening? That we see them trying to go through lists of felons and then putting people who aren't felons on that list.
Right. And showing up, and one of them shows up that he's dead. That the people who showed up to vote saying that said, "Oh no, you can't vote. You're dead," and
exactly.
And he was even erroneously listed himself as dead. I mean, really? Come on. You got
right.
if you got on a poll to show, and someone says, "Hey, you're dead. You can't vote." I'm here.
It's a whole lot of funny business.
Yeah, there's a lot
of funny business going on down there.
Absolutely, and I think that they know it. I think they really know it, and they don't want to say anything. Fonnie, your thoughts?
I don't honestly think there's much more I can add that hasn't already been said, but it is shameful on any level when voting is being mucked with. That is, our democracy is built around everyone having the right to vote, and I think that anyone who tries to step in the way of that should be slapped down, and that's just my opinion on it. And no matter who it is or what it is.
Right, exactly. Wayne, your thoughts?
I'll just mention one quick thing about the Florida one is, but it's happened in other states, is one of the ways that they go after this is they're eliminating the early voting on the Sunday before the election.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a fact that black people disproportionately early vote on Sundays after church. And so by cutting that out, you're really taking one day where a lot of these people have jobs during the week and they can't take time off to work, so they need to early vote on the weekends, and they happen to do it on a day when they're already out and about taking care of other business, and church is just sort of a natural thing. Go to church and then go to vote.
Yep.
And cutting that voting out on Sundays, you hugely impact disproportionately the black community. So, is this guy lying or not? I don't know. But if you wanted to suppress the black vote, this is exactly what you would do if you wanted to suppress the black vote.
Absolutely. They're trying to do stuff like this out in Ohio too. That they're using this kind of tactic. You were talking about they cutting out the early voting. They're cutting out the early voting out in Ohio as well. And the extra 3 days they would take to register. They know that if they had an actual fair election, they would most likely lose, and they would look again like the fool and have egg on their face. But they're trying to everything they can do just to get the person they want as president in, and get into our next topic.
Give me the news.
Out in Oxford, the university out there, they for a long time, for over 1,000 years actually, they had regulations. Men got to dress like men, got to wear pants. Women got to dress like women, got to wear skirts. There are a lot of religions like this, basically, and I was involved in one many years ago, and I know how this goes. You can't wear, even if it's cold out, you're not allowed to wear pants or anything, but you got to wear a skirt over whatever underneath, over top or whatever. It's just because, it's the religion. This is not that, but it's pretty damn close to it. It's actually pretty damn close to it. Now, what's interesting is that they decided, because you got a lot of students that are cross-dressers or transgender in many cases, they want to be able to dress however they feel. If you want to go out as a guy and you want to put on a dress or a skirt or whatever, go ahead. Just as so long as you're still wearing the basic black, whatever, you get with a skirt or the pants, or I don't know if they can wear both. I suppose that would look kind of funny. But, to each his own. I don't see anything wrong with if they want to dress like that. That's totally up to them. Joe, your thoughts?
I'm so glad Oxford changed their dress code standards, because they were way too strict. The dress code is what kept Oxford off my short list of schools. I mean, if I can't wear my Speedo and only my Speedo to exams, how am I supposed to pass these exams? I mean, the Speedo helps me think.
I think it makes everybody else distracted so they can't think.
Oh, so because they didn't pass, it's how I dressed?
That's right. That's right. We'll blame you. That's right. We'll blame the victim here. It's all you, Joe. I was distracted.
Speedos scare me. Go on, Joe.
By the way, free Speedo, air quote used, to anybody who emails packardpokes at gmail.com.
Thanks. I'll forward those on to Joe.
I'm going to have to run it by a bunch of Speedos and use them then.
Yeah,
if we
there
get
you go.
any responses.
I seriously doubt we will. Funny, your thoughts?
I think did the whole dress code thing. Why people get so bent out of shape about this? It just, it just goes to show you how far the human species has to go.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long way. We have a long way to go. Like, mind your own business.
Right.
Seriously, I don't care if you're wearing a tent with bulbs in your hair. I really just don't care. Like, why would it matter to me? It's not my business what you wear.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, and they say it's for during test taking. Really, does it?
It's ridiculous.
Is it really going to make a difference? Is it going to affect your score?
Yeah. Are we really still this stupid? Like, just seriously, I don't know.
For 1,000 years, apparently.
Putting this. Are we really still this stupid?
Yeah.
Like, get over it.
Yeah, it's just it's cloth. It's just something we drape over our bodies to keep us warm. And,
no kidding.
Or keep the sun off us, so we don't get burned.
So you're that stupid that you can't focus. You're so distracted by what somebody's wearing that you can't focus long enough to write a test. How did you even get to Oxford or wherever?
Excellent point. Excellent point. If you're looking at it like, why is that guy wearing a dress? And you're going to sit there and think about it. You're not thinking about your test. The problem is yours, my friend.
Exactly.
Not
The two of you, real quick.
Yeah.
When I read this article, I was like, okay, they're allowing guys to wear skirts and stockings, but what about the ladies? And the article did say that ladies are allowed to wear slacks and bow ties.
Yes. Yeah.
So
if they want to wear a bow tie, sure.
It's equal.
Well, at least
you
it's
can
equal.
equally cross-dress if you'd like.
Exactly.
Well, it's good to know.
Yeah. If they want to cross dress, one wants to walk in with pants and a tie. I've seen women with ties. Their local grocery store makes one wears a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with it. Perfect. They don't make them. They don't force them to wear a skirt just because they're a woman. They don't make them not wear a tie because they're a woman. Same thing. Everybody's got to wear exactly. Well, they got to wear pants and ties and white shirts and the whole 9 yards. So, but
Right.
it's completely ridiculous. It's an outmoded and outdated thought process involved there. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I sort of sit in the middle, I guess. I've got nothing against dress codes, and if they want a real strict dress code, I think it's kind of silly. But okay, if they want to have a lax one, that's fine. But I do like the idea that we don't have a gender-specific dress code. It's like here we have one dress code, and as long as you're in that dress code, you're good to go. And I think that's a step forward, and that's. I like that. I think it's quaint they dress up for exams,
Right.
But I do like the idea that they're allowed to, hey, as long as you're within the code,
Yeah.
if you're a boy, girl, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, well, whatever makes you happy. If you got your, as long as you're dressed. If they start walking in nude, then that's a whole other issue. Let's get into our next story here. I was kind of hoping we'd get this one because this one picked out. I sent this to Navani earlier this week, and she had a few choice words on it.
Vonnie had a few
Me?
choice words.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were saying the same thing, Joe. Who, me?
Well, not like that, but it's like, I don't know. There's this guy. He's trying to kill a mouse. Instead of using, a trap, mouse bait, stuff that would, poison, he takes a gun, doesn't try shooting it, tries to squish it with the butt of the rifle. He's sitting there going this, pounding on it. Apparently the gun was cocked and loaded, and the bullet grazed his head, knocked him unconscious. He's very lucky he didn't blow his brains out. I was like, of all the things to
was
use,
just sitting back going, sucker.
yeah. Mouse going, I'm out of here. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to do with an animal that but using the butt of a gun, I don't think so. I'll use a trap. It's safer. Even those.
Just a freaking mouse. All he had to do was offer him a bit of cheese.
There you go. A little cheese. Bam.
No, then you let him outside.
I've seen some stuff. I'll talk about it after the show, but it's just so bizarre. Joe, your thoughts?
You build a better mousetrap, and you might blow your brains out. All right, I have a real quick story here.
Sure.
When I was a kid, my dad took me to turkey shoots, and turkey shoots is where you shoot a paper target, and if you win, if you get the bullseye against other people, they give you a frozen turkey.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
That's what we used to eat on Thanksgiving. We used to win our Thanksgiving turkeys that way. My dad was actually such a good shot that our friends and family would get our turkeys from us.
Cool.
So anyway, one year at the turkey shoot, this dude, he fires his shotgun, and it misfired. The shell jammed. So he takes it, and he smashes the butt into the ground with the barrel facing his face. And everyone there yelled at him, "Dude, what are you doing? Stop!" And he was so embarrassed that he violated gun safety protocol that he put his gun in his case and went home.
Ah.
This guy is chasing a mouse around his house with a gun that's loaded and trying to smash it with the butt of it. Like you said, Packard, he's lucky he didn't blow his brains out.
Yes.
The bullet grazed his forehead and deflected into the sea. What?
Yeah, and he got charged for that, too. This guy is... He came really close to winning the Darwin Award on this.
Oh, totally. I mean, he almost killed himself trying to kill a mouse. I mean, hello, mouse traps.
Yeah.
Use peanut butter.
Peanut butter. They go for peanut butter every time. I should know. They can't get at it right away. They don't walk off with it. Yeah, that's it.
I think glue traps are inhumane because they hurt themselves and stuff. But the mouse traps, if you use the good ones, then it kills them right away and there's no suffering. I don't like animals suffering, but at the same time, I don't like disease-carrying animals coming into my house. So
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I have to put down traps every once in a while. They struggle for a few moments and then they die off. So it's not real super quick, but it's quick enough. I've been asked if I want to use glue traps as well. It's like, no, I don't want to sit there and watch this thing struggle and try to get out. It's like, ew.
Latina Rose in the chat room says, "Now I've heard it all. Pistol whipping a mouse."
Bam, bam. What if he'd been using a pistol? What if he had been using a pistol? Shot himself in the chest.
Oh my god.
Oh. Hey, the mouse had it come, and I felt threatened.
He was looking at me the wrong way.
Oh no!
Oh, that just adds a whole.
He was wearing a hoodie.
Oh.
He had Skittles and an Arizona iced tea.
Oh.
That's horrible. We shouldn't laugh about that one, but it's still he fought a mouse with a gun.
And lost.
Yeah. That's the worst part. He lost.
Yeah, he lost.
He lost. No word on the mouse, but it makes me wonder. I was reading this story. It makes me wonder. What if he was just imagining he saw a mouse and he just hitting the floor, thinking he's hitting a mouse? That's why they couldn't find a mouse. He just claimed he saw a mouse.
Imagined a lot of.
The article says they don't know if the mouse got away or not.
Right.
Like, the mouse is probably still in his house. He's in the hospital.
Oh, maybe
getting
it was a
treated for a
Messiah
gunshot
mouse.
wound. And he's like, the damn mouse. And they're like, what mouse?
Ninja mouse.
Ninja mouse. Yeah, I just saw that in the chat room. Ninja mouse.
Ninja mouse.
Truth be told, I was here by myself one night, and I saw a mouse scurry down my hallway. Goofy me. I yelled at the mouse, saying, "Hey, stop!" And the mouse is just running. I was like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing? This mouse is not going to go, hey, all right, I surrender, man. I surrender." Really? This is like duh moment on my part. Funny, your thoughts.
Oh, I've probably already expressed them, but to summarize, I mean, if a mouse is right there, I understand that in some parts, in some places, there is, that worry of disease-carrying infestations of mice. And yes, please just use the traps that are just going to kill them instantly.
Right.
Any other contraption is just inhumane. But if it's right there,
yeah,
pick it up, put it outside.
Yeah. Well,
it's a little mouse. It's like it's a mouse.
Yeah, but I think for when you're talking about people's homes and whatnot,
He's right there. He's there with a gun.
Yeah.
Trying to kill
I'm surprised he didn't try shooting it.
Put the gun down. Say, hey, Mr. Mouse, give him a little piece of cheese, and he'll be your best friend. And then go put him outside.
Yeah.
Just about blew his brains out.
He
Over a
reacted
mouse.
to the mouse like Rambo. He's like, "All right, mouse, game on."
Think of the stories that Mouse is going to tell its grandchildren about that.
He's like, "You see the scar on my forehead? Damn mouse."
I got the story for you.
Oh yeah. I like this
Oh,
one.
humans.
I like this by
We're
Sullivan.
so smart.
Yeah, I like this comment in the chat room. Sullivan, he says, "Hey mouse, you feeling lucky?"
Sullivan said that.
Must have thought it was John Wayne or Clint Eastwood rather. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, people are nutty. I mean, you put enough guns in enough people's hands, you're gonna see these funny stories once in a while. But,
Yeah.
just to remind us that we're not as evolved as we like to think we are.
Yeah.
Exactly, Wade.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when it comes to guns, you know. Hey, it's not something you should be carrying around if you're not. Especially if you're gonna use it to try to hit a mouse with. You know, there's a little thing. You know, bullets come out of the gun. You don't necessarily have to hit it with the gun itself. Right.
Thank you, Canada. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
you
broadcasting that story. That's
there you go. Someone lost some IQ points there. All right, well, let's get into our next topic. Yeah. State-funded school. State-funded. That's the key word here. It's state-funded. And it's a Christian school. They rejected a 3-year-old because his parents were gay. No other reason. Not because he was too smart for their school, too dumb for their school. He's a 3-year-old kid. They told him, you know, hey, the parents, because you don't live the lifestyle we approve of. Not me, but, you know, me representing them in this case, for that moment. They're saying, you don't live the lifestyle that we represent or we think is in our moral values, then your kid can't go here. Problem is, if you want to push religion, fine. You know, that's your purview. You want to do it in your school, that's fine. But if you take state funds, I don't think they should be allowed to. I don't think they should be allowed to push religion when you're taking money from the state, period. Then that school should not be a religious school. If you want to preach religion, do it on your own dime. Don't use my dime. Don't use Wayne's. Don't use, well, Vonnie's not an American citizen, so she's not using hers. But I don't use Joe's or Dan's, who's not here tonight, or Eric's, or who's not here tonight, obviously, or anybody, or anybody that's in our chat room. I don't think anybody in the chat room would want to have their money being used for a Christian school that's this intolerance. I said this last week that religion is not tolerant, is nothing that's tolerant, for that matter. Joe, your thoughts?
Okay, I'm going to read a quote from the article here. It says, Action 7 News got a copy of the letter from a letter that Hope Christian School sent to the family. It says in part, same-gender couples are inconsistent with the scriptural lifestyle and biblical teachings, and home life does not reflect the school's belief of what a biblical family lifestyle is.
Yeah.
Now, does this school allow male teachers who shave their beards?
Yeah.
Leviticus 19:27. Does this school serve bacon in the lunchroom? Leviticus 11:7.
Yep.
So the school is violating anti-discrimination laws, yet receives tens of thousands of dollars in federal tax aid.
Over $60,000 in tax aid.
Right. Yeah. And so, you know, like you said, I don't want my tax dollars funding bigotry, just
Right.
like I don't want my tax dollars funding Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Or not tax dollars, but my personal consumer dollars funding Chick-fil-A.
Right.
You know, like was going on this week. So, you know, state funding of discrimination is illegal, and
Yes.
this is BS.
It is. It really is. And what makes it worse is that, this kid, this 3-year-old kid, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just like,
Exactly.
why'd we take me out of school? I mean, did I do something wrong? And this kid's gonna have a complex for most of his life until he figures out, hey,
What does that parent say to that kid?
Yeah, exactly. What is he gonna say to him? It's like, well, because mommy and mommy love each other, these people don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Guess what? Our family is not a family according to your school. What? How do you say that to a kid?
Yeah. How do you say that to him? It just boggles my mind. Vonnie, your thoughts?
At some point, this is starting to just tick me off on the other side of this coin is, why would you put your kid into that school in the first place? Why would you put your kid through something like that? Why would you voluntarily have your child be discriminated? Like first day on the farm, Christianity has been discriminatory and prejudiced since the dawn of Christianity.
Oh, yeah.
The headline should be, man gets rejected and says, screw them. I don't want my kid having anything to do with Christianity. It's prejudice and goes against my humanistic values.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the headline should say.
That's what it should say. You're right. It should say that. It just...
Well, why are we continuously pushing the envelope of Christianity, expecting it to change? This is Christianity. It's always been Christianity.
Yep.
It will always be Christianity.
What bothers me also, in along those same lines, but there are a lot of gay couples out there that are religious.
Well,
why?
I don't pity them. I say, wake up.
Exactly.
Open your eyes.
Exactly.
Christianity is all about intolerance, all about discrimination. That's what it is. Read the book.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't pity them. I'm saying be a responsible parent. Put your kid into an environment where the child is not going to be discriminated.
Right, exactly.
Because that's what Christianity is.
Right. Yes, exactly. It is an intolerant. Religion is just intolerant. If you don't follow everything that they do or you want you to do,
that's what it is. It's designed to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, why are we all shocked?
Yeah, I'm not shocked about that.
Actually read the book or what?
Yeah, no, I'm not shocked about that. That the fact that that they're intolerant.
Oh, no, I don't mean we, you, and me. I mean this parent, for example.
Yeah.
First day on Christianity Farm.
Yeah.
Did you not have some kind of inkling that your child was going to be treated this way?
I guess they didn't. I thought, maybe they won't find. They thought maybe they didn't find out.
That's stupid on them. I'm sorry, but I don't pity them because I think it's we need to start using our heads a little bit.
Yeah. No, exactly. No, I agree with you there. I don't, on this instance, I don't pity them. But like I said, that there are a lot of gay couples out there that are religious. Again, why I don't know. Because
you know what? Time to wake up and smell the coffee, man. Pick another club.
Hopefully this does. Hopefully this does wake them up, and it shows,
exactly.
hey,
that's
it's like
my point.
Exactly.
That should have woken him up. He should be saying, "Screw them! Why would I put my child in that kind of environment?
Exactly.
That's a very toxic environment. I'm not going to put my kid in that environment."
Oh yeah, exactly. I would like to think that, but don't know. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Bonnie strongly that we sort of buy into a lot of this Christian bigotry by participating with them, and putting our kids, in this case, into their programs, and it's sad, but the real issue, at least maybe not for this parent, because for this parent, it's the very real issue is their kid was rejected and they wanted to put the kid there. But for me, watching from the outside, is the fact that our federal tax dollars, are going to school. That's just seems it is wrong, and they shouldn't be. It reminds me of the story that was recent with Mississippi with the state representative. She changed her position on school charters because she found out that Muslim schools could get money from the state.
Yeah, that was a few weeks ago.
And she was really upset when she found that out. And and her quote was, "I thought only Christian schools would be able to get this money. I didn't realize that other religions could get the money too." And now I'm against it.
Yeah, exactly.
she's
doesn't-
right to be against it, but her reasoning is so wrong.
Exactly. No, you're right. Exactly. Her reasoning on that instance was wrong. But yeah, these people, someone was saying in the chat room there, they said not all Christians. I'm not attacking Christians. I'm attacking Christianity. I'm talking the
That's
religion.
right.
We're not attacking the people. In
The
this
belief,
case,
not the believer.
right. In this case, well, in this case, is the school and the representative of that school. I think
Read
they're
the
both
book.
asshats.
They're following their religion.
Yes.
That is Christianity, whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can be a good person and be a Christian. But if you want to follow Christianity to the letter, that is Christianity.
And it makes me wonder, and I was also reading on the article, it makes me wonder how long before they start saying, hey, you're divorced, you can't be in their school because you're not a real family because you're divorced. You're not supposed to get divorced. Your kid can't go to this school. Really?
But according to the Bible, you can have concubines.
Oh yeah. We'll just say, I'll just say, it's not my girlfriend, it's my concubine. That'll pass mustard. Sure, why not?
Totally.
Totally. All right, let's get into our next story here because I know we're starting to run late and Vonnie's got to go. A priest said who planned to have sex with a young girl claims he was just researching a novel. I've researched a lot of things, but no, sorry, you're an idiot. Plain and simple. You don't go into chat rooms and talk to 14-year-old girls and then set up, hey, let's get together and whatever. And this was a police sting, and they caught him in there. This guy's from Florida, of course. At least the undercover police officers in Florida. He thought he was talking to a 14-year-old girl, and he was really talking to a detective who was posing as a girl. I wouldn't feel comfortable even doing that. I'd end up giving too much away, and then they're like, you're not really a girl. No. But the guy there, the cop, if you look at the picture, the cop even's got a face palm because he told him, I'm writing a novel, I can show you that. And he's remarked, you're trying to tell the whole thing is just research program for a novel. And he's like, it does sound ridiculous, but he goes, yes, it does. Even the detective goes, facepalm here. You think this is a novel? Or you think that this is actually going to fly? No. And then the guy said, yeah, I know I did wrong. He said, then he claims, I wasn't really going to meet her. Sure, you go through all this elaborate setup to say you're going to meet somebody, but you're not going to show up? That's almost as bad. And not saying that he should have met with this 14-year-old girl, but I mean, women grow up and they say, guys make plans and then they don't show up. Hey, you know what? That's on the guy's part. That's terrible. And the reverse happens too. Guy shows up, the girl doesn't show up. Getting stood up. That's pretty bad in itself. But I'm glad that this person got stood up in this instance. It's just... I said this in my last show. I need a pitchfork. I'm going to go find one right now. Show your thoughts.
Yeah, talk about To Catch a Predator minus the NBC.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was arrested and charged with traveling to meet a minor for sex.
Yeah.
That's what he was charged with.
Yep.
Which means he was on his way to a meetup.
Yeah. And
he cried during the interrogation and claimed he was just doing research for a book. What a scumbag.
Yeah. And he's got daughters on top of it.
Exactly. This household has 4 daughters.
Yeah.
He made plans for sex with what he thought was another parent's underage child.
Just sick. It is.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And on top of that, he's a Episcopalian, priest, minister, whatever it is.
Yeah. I don't care if he's writing a book. Let's say he is. Is this book about becoming? Maybe he decided he wants to become the next Muslim, and he wants to become the next prophet.
He's going to be the next Muhammad.
Yeah,
she was 9, but I didn't sanctify it until she was 12. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, sure. Maybe you're just going to go meet her and say, yeah, we'll sanctify this when you're 15. We'll do a whole different kind of Muslim thing going on. No, I'm sorry.
You're just piling up the Muslim hate on your
I know I am.
podcast.
They're going to start coming looking for me pretty soon.
Fatwa!
Fatwa! Jihad! Packard! Sonic! I can't find me. They're not going to find me. I don't even know where I am anymore. Funny your thoughts.
Well, I
have
wish
no
we could at
clue
least
where
say
you are
Islam, because
in
Islam
Wisconsin.
is actually what we're talking about, not Muslims.
No, we're not talking about Muslims. I'm just throwing
No, what
that
I'm
in there.
saying though, when we always use the word Muslim, that's part of the problem. Just like if we said Christians and Christianity, that matches up, right?
Yeah.
But to say Muslim and Islam, some Muslims are not actually, don't even follow the Islam religion.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that don't, sure.
Yeah.
But I was just saying about the ones that do, that follow the prophet. You know, they're the Muhammad one. The Muhammad, he banged that 12-year-old.
I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying that the religion is actually Islam, not Muslim.
Oh no, you're right. It's Islam. I'm sorry.
Right. The religion is Islam, but the people who are Islamic are Muslims.
Right.
Yeah, but the religion is Islam.
Right.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
You are correct.
You are correct.
I have a lot of Muslim friends. So it does, I mean, it would be like saying Catholic when you're talking about a Christian, but then that's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they're
Well,
Christians too.
there's different kinds of
Moving
Muslims,
on.
just like there's different kinds of Christians. Like there's Sunni, Shia, Druze, and then a whole plethora of other Muslims or Islamic people.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
And there are
I
Muslims
completely
who
know what you're
really
talking
are
about.
not
I am
even
friends with
religious, so
a couple
just-
Muslim people myself.
Yeah. No, he was also saying he was doing the research on Dante's Infernal. I mean, he's basing his novel on that.
He watched Seven too many times.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
But,
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Nice.
But anyway, I again, in my opinion, this is where I don't buy the using stupidity as an excuse to play a victim.
Right.
You
Exactly.
should have known better, and now you do.
Yeah. Oh, now
Right?
now he does. It makes me wonder though. Makes me wonder. What if he had gotten away with this, and then he did this to somebody
what
else?
if we all just said, "Well, I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
know it
let's all
was
just
illegal.
break the law, and when it comes down to it, we'll cry and say we didn't know."
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Yeah. I hope this guy goes away for a long time. Honestly.
I hope he gets tried the same way anyone else would get tried for this particular crime.
Exactly. And you know what? Then he can write his next novel, How to Get Cornholed in Prison.
And maybe why you shouldn't do, your own independent research on being a pedophile
Yeah.
and making some shady deal with a minor to meet up.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Oh, no, when I was reading this, it immediately reminded me of the Pete Townsend story like 10 years ago, when his name came out in regards to a ongoing pedophilia, a child pornography, not pedophilia, but same thing, I guess, a child pornography ring. His credit card had been used to access a child porn website, and so the police, interviewed him and said, your name's come up here, and his excuse was, I'm doing research.
Oh.
After a long investigation, they turned up, they couldn't prove that he ever downloaded anything. All they had was that he accessed a website with his credit card. But
I think that shows
that was
intent.
his excuse. He was doing research. So.
Yeah, I really think that would show intent. If you're accessing and paying,
Townsend defense.
yeah, I think if you're actually paying, you're putting out, I'm going to take my credit card, I'm going to go to, childporn.com, and I don't know if that's a real website. I hope it's not. If you type in your numbers, that with every type, with every character you type in there, you're showing intent to go to the site. If he had gone to the site and didn't sign up, maybe, he could have said, oh, I just stumbled across it. But he actually put his credit card number through. He knew what he was doing. And research or not, you don't... What kind of research involves child pornography? I mean, if you're going to expose it, that's one thing. But to engage in it, completely different. Completely different.
Yeah, and there isn't a kabillion resources out there that he could have actually done his research without having to actually make some shady deal with a minor.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, he's just plain stupid.
Yes, exactly.
Anybody can cry when they want, you know, if you want to, if you want to get out of something bad enough, like just because he cried doesn't.
Yeah.
And even if he were true, if he were that, even if he didn't know, I still, whatever. You should know better.
Yeah, exactly. You don't. If you should know better. You got to know. You got to know.
I don't believe that for a second.
No, I don't believe it either. I think the guy is just trying to say, oh, I'm trying to find my way to back out of this because you know he's like, oh, I was just doing research. Sure you were, buddy boy.
Yeah,
sure you were.
He sounds just like all the guys that were on To Catch a Predator. They were like, oh, I wasn't going to do anything with them. I just came over to hang out. I just brought them cookies. I just brought them a six-pack of wine coolers.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why would you bring a 14-year-old wine coolers?
Yeah.
Dirt bags.
Exactly. These people are dirt bags. It's just I can't wrap my mind around these kind of people. All right, well, let's get into our next topic. Our funny tweet this evening comes from Religion Free. He says, I've been making a point to stop being so superstitious. It's bad luck.
That's funny.
I think those...
That's a funny tweet.
Yeah, I think someone's got a train going through their house. But yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, it's... being superstitious.
Well, it is bad luck to be so superstitious.
Yes. It just smacks of so much irony. It's not even funny. Joe, your thoughts?
You know, if I was going to be that superstitious, I wouldn't say it out loud because that's bad luck.
Yeah.
More irony.
And I would consult my Ouija board before tweeting it.
Yeah. Nice. Vonnie, your thoughts?
I don't know. I think saying stuff about superstition stuff is bad luck. So.
Yeah.
Did you roll the bones before you said that?
I'm standing on one leg too.
We can wait. Go get your bones.
There you go.
Yeah, good joke. Was
Yeah.
good.
Definitely. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, right. There was I can't remember the name. I'll blame Heigl, but he's some philosopher. He used to have a horseshoe, German philosopher, outside his house for good luck. And his friends would ask him, "Why do you have that there? You know the stuff is just complete baloney." He goes, "The thing about horseshoes, though, is they work even if you don't believe them."
Yeah. There's just there's a lot of weirdos out there.
I need to get a horseshoe now.
Just make sure you take it off the horse first. It's kind of hard, carry the horse in the horseshoe.
They put long nails in those things.
Give me that! I need that! All right, let's get into our shout-out for this evening.
Hey, you guys!
Our shout-out comes tonight from, let's see here, Joe. Joe, you have this shout-out for Kaimati, Kaimati. Joe, you want to tell us a little about Kaimati?
Yeah, Kaimati. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I asked him how to pronounce it, and he said he was going to send me a MP3 on the pronunciation. It's Kaimatai with an at symbol at the beginning. So it's what I see is Kaimatai, and he told me once that it is a word for the New Zealand native dialect for a zoologist or for a person who's into animals, because he is an actual zoologist. He's a scientist who studies animals, and he knows a lot about evolution, and he's really science smart, and I have often asked him questions, and he will help me out with things, and he's really a prolific tweeter in the atheist and atheism hashtags. And his profile says, another atheist plugging away against the forces of superstition, irrationality, and prejudice. PhD biologist, delusion-free, abusers and time wasters blocked.
Nice.
This guy is awesome. I have followed him since the beginning of me getting into Twitter and getting into the atheism hashtag. One of the awesomest things about this guy is he has a blog called anotheratheist.tumblr.com. And if you go to that blog, it has science articles of science information, like what is the scientific theory? How does evolution work? Things like that. And you can just go there and read the articles one after another, or there is a random button. And you can hit the random button, and it'll just bring you to a random article about science. And guess what? You're learning something.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy is awesome. He's all over Twitter, and I've been following him forever, and he's super cool. And if you have a science question, you can even ask him.
Excellent.
So yeah, he's a super cool resource that our community has.
Excellent.
Can you spell it again?
Yes, it's Kaimatai. So if you're out on Twitter, and if you're not on Twitter, why aren't you?
Oh, I follow. He's awesome. Yes. Okay.
Totally. Yeah, he's got the avatar of an eagle head.
Yes, he is one of my favorites.
There you go.
He's awesome. He's totally cool.
Yeah.
He's in my sparkly nerds list on Twitter.
Sparkly nerds.
Sparkly nerds. Well, if you're not on Twitter, like I said, if you're not on Twitter, why don't you give him a follow and tell him you heard here on the show. Okay, let's get into our next topic.
Excuse me. I have a question. I have a question, sir. What are you doing? I'm asking you a question.
Our replies for last week, we had two. We had Freeze for Fun. He says, I would be Peter Venkman. Or the question. Let me read the question. Actually, the question from last week was, if you could be any character from an Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sigourney Weaver film, which one would you be and why? And that was by Joe. And the first one was Freeze for Fun. I would be Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters because Bill Murray is the man. And we had our second one here from Wizard of Todd. And he's our most prolific replier on this. And he says, obviously, I would want to be Egon in Ghostbusters. The guy carries a particle accelerator, collects fungi, and gets to bang Andy Potts back in the 80s. Obviously, my idea of a dream job. I had forgotten completely that Sigourney Weaver was, until I read these, that she was actually in that movie. It's like, oh yeah, she played the damsel in distress. So, kudos for Freeze for Fun and Wizard of Todd. Okay, yes.
Real quick, I listened to last week's show, and I cannot believe that you have not seen the first two Alien movies.
I have not seen the Alien movies, no.
You need to see those two movies.
I'm not into horror. I cannot watch
Ridley
horror.
Scott and the James Cameron films are the two best ones. After that, don't even bother.
I can't watch. I can't watch horror movies. I know my psyche pretty well, and it's like I'd be going to bed like, what the hell's that noise? What the hell's that noise?
The best thing is being awakened at night by nightmares, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, I nightmares. I need to. I get four. You said this on the Twitter the other day. It's like I was convinced you only sleep 4 hours a day. You know, that's pretty much it. 4 hours
and that's 4 hours that you could be chased by throat-sucking aliens that are trying to bust through your chest.
Yes, I need that. So many of the things I'm worried about, and I need to worry about an alien coming down my chest. Sure. Get to our question for this week. This was submitted by Wayne. It says, not because of their politics or belief, but work ethic only, what athletic figure, current or historical, would you find inspirational? Joe, who would you find inspirational of an athlete that was, in the past had given you inspired you?
I would have to say Jorge Posada, the catcher for the New York Yankees, who was the catcher for, I don't even know, it was over 1.5 decades at least. But yeah, he is religious, and I don't know what his politics are, but on the field he's very professional. He always wanted to win, and there were times that made me love him where, like, the pitcher would come in too close to the hitter, and the hitter would want to, like, charge the mound, and Jorge would put himself between him and the batter, and it would just say, like, hey man, he didn't mean to come in that close, back down. And he would stop fights. And so I respected him as a leader and as a person who avoided conflict and stopped fights, and he's the guy that I would say.
Yeah, interesting. Vonnie, who's your historical athletic figure, not based on their politics or belief? Who would you say you find inspirational?
This is probably going to be predictable, but Terry Fox.
Okay.
And for those who aren't aware of Terry Fox, was a Canadian. In 1977, he was a young athlete, a kinesiology student at Simon Fraser University. He found out he had cancer, and with help from the Canadian Cancer Society, he began a marathon of hope. He covered 26 miles a day, continued to run with, like, on one leg, and he had a prosthetic on the other. When he reached Thunder Bay, he discovered his cancer had spread to his lungs. He ended up having Canadians run with him for most of the journey. People would run along with him, and which he motivated people, and they motivated him. Right. All his money that he raised, and he raised a lot, was for the Canadian Cancer Society. And it says the Marathon of Hope idea had spread around the world and is estimated to have raised over $300 million.
Wow.
And still growing. Prior to his death, and he did die, he did succumb to cancer. He was given many awards and recognitions, including the Lou Marsh Award for Athletic Accomplishment.
Wow.
Yeah, he was one heck of a guy.
Yeah, that's
great answer, Vonnie.
Yes. I wouldn't have said this obvious because I had no clue who that is. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a sports person. I really don't know. Wayne, since you posed this question, who would you think would be your political, or not the political or police or their work, but their work ethic for the athletic figure? Who would that be?
Wow, it's a shame to have to go after Vonnie after that one. There are a lot of examples of people like this, but the one I'd pick just as the exemplar for this is Larry Bird, who was very, very hard on his teammates, really angry when they did not put everything into the game that he thought they should put in, but he never ever expected them to put in any more than he was willing to put in. He was always the first one there, 3 hours before a game, shooting practice shots, always the last one to leave. Whatever people liked him, didn't like him, whatever they thought of his personality, you could never say that he did not work harder than anyone else. I mean, he was the hardest working person on his team, and he was a big superstar, but it was a lot of it was more than just raw talent. It was right. Developed talent.
Yeah,
it was I like that about him.
Yeah,
but it pales in comparison to Vonnie's example.
There you go.
Well, all good people, right?
Yeah.
In their own way.
For myself, I really don't follow sports at all. I know very few sports figures actually, but I don't know the man's name because, like I said, I don't follow sports. But I know there's the first black man that got into baseball because they pushed their way, not pushed their way, but they've proved themselves to be available to play with everybody else. They show that race should not matter between if you're white or black or green, yellow, whatever you are, and you should be allowed to play based on your ability, not based on the color of your skin is. Or, I think these people are heroes in my book. But anyway.
His name's Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. Okay, you're right. That's it. It's like I said, I'm not a sports guy. I don't.
You know what's cool about Jackie Robinson, Packard?
What's that?
And that's a good choice for a sports legend, because he had to. When they signed him, they said, "Hey, listen, you're going to be faced with racism. The fans are going to scream racist slurs at you, and you have to put up with it. Are you okay with that?" And he said, "Yes, I will stand up and I will play ball just like anyone else."
Right.
And because he stood up and led the way for black players in the major leagues, they retired his number across the entire baseball. Because baseball teams can retire their numbers. Every team retired the number 42 in respect for Jackie Robinson.
Nice.
And every year on his birthday, when during major league play, all the teams wear 42 on their jerseys.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Like I said, I just
Really
knew that.
nice.
I only knew that little bit of trivia. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a sports guy.
Yeah. Well, you're not a sports guy, but you chose a great athlete to be your choice for the question of the week.
Absolutely. And I kind of I was thinking of all the people I could think of. I was like, he would make he was actually the best one. And I was thinking about that. Okay, well that's it for us tonight. If you want to reach us, and we're on Twitter, if you want to talk to us on Twitter, we're all there. If you want to reach Joe on Twitter, he's there as
Joe Unseen, JoeUnseen.
Right. If you want to reach Vonnie, who's on Twitter, and her Twitter name is
Evolution_child. It's EVOLUTION_CHILD.
All right. If you want to reach Wayne on Twitter, you can reach Wayne as
Random Excess. It's no underscore, one word. RANDOM EXCESS. Random Excess.
Exactly. And I remember seeing someone tweeted you saying, "You tweet about too much random stuff." And you're just like, excessively. You really? That's the whole name of the Twitter name? You just didn't get that? Obvious. If you want to reach me, I'm on Twitter as Packard_Sonic. That's PACKARD_SONIC. If you want to reach the show announcements, that's at Packard Pokesat, all one word, on Twitter. If you want to come to the live show, that's at Packard. It's at justin.tv/Packard Pokesat. We're at 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock California time. If you want to get the show notes, they're at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. And while you're at packardpokesat.wordpress.com, reading up on all the stories we talked about tonight, there's a donation button there. If you would like to help keep the show going, so I can make my graphics even fancier, or keep it from pulling my hair out when we have technical issues, please drop a few dollars in there. 1, 10, 100, whatever you know. Yes.
I would like to donate money so that you could have sleeved T-shirts.
Yes, I can see. I can't even afford sleeves now. All my money's going to cover the podcast. Like, I can't even afford sleeves.
We need to pay for Packard sleeves.
Packard needs sleeves.
Packard needs sleeves. We need to set up what are those accounts called where everybody donates? Packard needs sleeves.
Kickstarter or
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we need to just do his Kickstarter account. Packard needs sleeves. Kickstarter.com.
Without sleeves, he's just another guy.
I think you look like a badass.
Thank you.
For just 30 cents a day, Packard could have sleeves.
Love it. Help Packard buy sleeves. Okay.
Brad said we should do a podcast-a-thon.
Yes,
that would be fun.
That'd be kind of fun. We'll have to figure out some night to do that. All right, that's it for us tonight. Please, if you want to come to the live show, like I said, justin.tv/PackardPokeshead. Oh, if you want to go to see the show afterwards, if you're just listening as an audio cast, the audio podcast from iTunes, you go to youtube.com/PackardPokeshead, and you can see all the great visual stuff. Even with the green blobs behind me tonight, they're invading Russia over here. And Canada, you're getting invaded, Vonnie, just so you know.
And they're invading your shoulder a little bit. You need sleeves.
Yes, I definitely need sleeves.
You gotta read what Dog said.
Yeah.
It's the U.S. He has a right to bear arms.
That's right. I thought it was the armed bears. I don't know.
That was so good.
This has been Packard Pokes That. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.